Detroit Lions fans, what's up? It's your boy Steven Will back with another episode of Detroit Den 313. Steve, it is just one sleep away from the biggest freaking football game in Detroit Lions history. Let me tell it. You guys tell me if I'm wrong in the comments, but I can't think of a bigger game that there's been in Detroit Lions history. I'm itching. I cannot wait to watch the Detroit Lions absolutely take belt to ass to these Washington Commanders. But before we do that, Steve, game day show was out already, guys. So catch that game day show. But today we were talking, like just talking to people, talking to guys at work, people texting my phone, people hitting us up on social media, just asking all types of questions. What do we think about this? What do we think about that? And then I thought to myself, Steve, why not get on here and let's talk about some facts and some bullshit, man. Some facts and some bullshit. So, Steve, while people are hitting that subscribe button, and before we get into it, how you feeling, man? How you feeling about this game? How you feeling in general?
The fact that, I mean, not all of us could be Will Ford and have tomorrow off from work. You know, some of us have to get up and punch the time clock for a little bit. But, I think around noon, I might start getting that that sea flu. And I might have to go to my boss and be, hey, man, I got that sea flu. As in, you ain't going to see my ass here for much longer because I'm going home. I got to go get ready for this game. And that sea flu can linger for a little bit, man. It might even drip over into Saturday night, Sunday morning. It's about a 36-hour bug that's going around town. I don't know if you've heard about it, but I'm excited. All right, so going to work's a little easier knowing that I got a Lions game later that night. We'll get up there. Crowd's going to be rowdy. I can't wait. These playoff games, it's the tournament, all right? There's no second chances. That's why the NFL is so great. Hardest trophy in sports to earn. You have to earn it. This isn't MLB. This isn't NHL. This isn't NBA. You don't get best of 7, best of 5. You get, like Eminem says, William, one shot. You get one opportunity, all right? You don't get a redo next week if you don't win this game. You don't get a best of 7. It's win or go home, kind of like college basketball, the only format that's kind of close, but that's why the NFL is great, man. You got to go out. You got to earn that title. You can't just say, hey, we played 21 extra games for me to win a championship. Nope. We got to win 3 more games to hoist that Lombardi trophy. If that doesn't motivate you, then you're probably just a dead body somewhere because you don't have a pulse.
Well, Steve, we got a big problem here because when we talk about one shot, I only had one shot to sleep in tomorrow, and you just let Emily know that I ain't got to work. I mean, what are we doing here? I mean, guys, he just let the cat just right out of the bag. I was just wondering to wake up, like, oh, what are you doing? What are you doing here? Oh, babe, I must have overslept. I'm man, just guys, just hammer this guy. Just what is the bro code?
Listen. The bro code needs information before I go on air. Before I start with things. That's like saying, hey, man, if my old lady calls, I was with you all night.
Hey, man, we gotta have to start. We're gonna have to put that in the pregame show notes, man. No, I'm just teasing. I'm kidding. But hey, listen, let's get into it, Steve. Let's not mess around. So, guys, again, this is gonna be, and we want you guys to participate. Is whatever we ask a fact, or is it some bullshit? Put it in the comments. Let us know how you're feeling. I'm gonna pose the questions, and I guess we can go back and forth on who answers it first. But then you guys, while you're seeing the question, or it's on YouTube, so if you want to pause it, answer the question in the comments and then start playing it again, that's up to you. Or if you want to hear our answers and let us kind of just poison your brain a little bit and get you into your answers and your feels a little bit while you answer the questions, that is up to you. But Steve, I'm gonna toss the first one at you. Are you ready?
Burning questions. Let's go.
All right. First question, Jaden Daniels rushing for 100 yards. Is that a fact or is that some bullshit? Talk to me.
That's tough. That's like I've seen the list. I know what's coming, and I didn't know what order you were going to put these up in. I think it's facts. I think he will rush for 100 yards, but it doesn't concern me. My concern with him rushing is I don't care what he does between the 20s. When we get inside those red zones, whether it's mainly on defense for this question, containing. All right. If he's running from the 20 to the 20, that's fine. Don't care about yards. Don't care about that at all. He can run for 240 yards. I don't care. What's he doing in the red zone? Is he turning the ball over? Are we getting stops? Are we forcing 3s instead of 7? So I think he will rush for 100, but I wouldn't shock me if it's lower, obviously, but I say yes. I think he will run for 100, and that's perfectly fine. I don't care about yards. What do you think?
I get it. I get it. And I respect it, man. Steve, the bottom line is we talked about it in the pregame show, and we talked about it when we first figured out that we were playing the Washington Commanders. Their offense is Jaden Daniels. Like, I mean, that's their offense. And if you want to talk about Scary Terry, okay, he plays a role in the offense. I'm not going to put no disrespect on him, but um, the rushing game definitely is Jaden Daniels. That's
Yeah.
that's the rushing
End of
game.
list.
Yeah, in the list. So, uh, when you say, is he gonna rush for 100 yards? I just refer back to that Buffalo Bills game and Josh Allen and them running RPO and them running read, some of the similar things that the Commanders do. And the Buffalo Bills had some success, man. So easily, as much as I don't want to say it, I have to say that Jaden Daniels is probably not gonna rush for a freaking 100 yards. Are you nuts? Are you out of your mind? He ain't coming to Detroit and rush for 100 yards. He's gonna get his ass shut down. Listen, okay, maybe not shut down. I'm getting carried away. I'm getting excited, guys. I apologize, but he ain't rushing for 100. I will say he's gonna make some plays. I will toss it out there because I know Steve don't like politician answers, or I'll toss a number out there. I'll say Jaden Daniels will go for 60 yards. He'll go for
60? I hope so.
60. He'll break probably. He's going to break 130 yarder or so, and then he'll nickel and dime his way up to about 50, 60 yards. So I say Jaden Daniels 60 yards, but 100? No, 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 no. So guys, drop it in the comments. Moving on, Steve. Moving on, and I'll go first on this one. I don't know what question is next, man. So, next one up, we got back to bullshit. Detroit Lions win this freaking football game by 14 plus points. 14 plus points. Detroit Lions win this football game. Steve, I'm gonna say, and I said it in the pregame show, so you guys already heard it. If you watch the pregame show, the Detroit Lions can open the floodgates here. This thing can get out of hand and turn into a party. I'm gonna say fact. The Detroit Lions win this game by 14 plus. It is about to be. They're about to show up and show out. I think for a rookie quarterback to come in, can't hear, can't think, doesn't know where he's at. I seen somebody on social media talking about Jaden Daniels had mentioned after playing in a spot like LSU, the little Ford Field isn't going to be a big deal. Hey, we gonna see, baby. We gonna see. So listen, I'm gonna say fact. The Detroit Lions open this thing up. It's not a close football game. I don't mean to disrespect Jaden Daniels and the Washington Commanders, but it's what I believe. And if you feel disrespected, then hey, do something about it on Saturday night. Steve, what are you thinking? 14 plus Detroit Lions, is it a fact or is it some bullshit?
William.
Oh,
I'm not going to backpedal. I said my final score prediction was going to be 45 to, I think, 24, 21. I went to public schools. All right. That Monroe High education, it's not the greatest. We're not talking like private Catholic school or anything like that. But 40, if I do the math right, I think that's more than 14. So I'm going to stick to my guns. All right. I do think we cover the spread. I don't like to use the word blowout. I think this game will be a lot closer than the score shows, but I do think that it's going to be a comfortable game. All right. Let's enjoy these comfortable ones because we don't know what's going on down the road. We don't want to get there. But when I look at Washington, again, they're in a great spot. They're in a great spot for where they are this season. They're ahead of schedule. I've said it all week. You draft a rookie quarterback and you hit like Washington has, it speeds up the process for where your organization is. They've done that. But when I look at what they have offensively, it doesn't scare me. Their offensive line has question marks. Terry McLaurin is a great receiver. I'm not trying to knock him, but I think we just match up with him with Amik Robertson and Brian Branch and Kirby Joseph, all those guys. If we have to put a safety over the top, that's perfectly fine. Their offensive weapons don't scare me. Their defense, on the other hand, and we've said this before, is a huge problem. Like they can't stop the pass. They can't stop the short pass, the long pass, the run. The runs after some Thai food, like they can't stop any type of runs. All right. And that's what we do best. So yeah, I think we cover the 14 and I'm going to add a little something.
Talk to me.
When I was driving home today from work, I'm not I don't listen to the radio. I don't like listening to the same songs over and over. Sometimes I'll throw on 97.1 The Ticket. It's not my favorite show, but I'm a sports guy. All right. Yeah. I like to listen about sports talk. All right. There's a big game coming up. I want to hear what's going on. I feel like there's just a lot of negativity. They were putting out a question like, well, what if the Commanders come in and they do what Buffalo did and they jump on the on the Detroit Lions and they go up 14-0? Fine, cool. Can they keep that pace for 4 quarters where they're beating us 14 points to nothing? I don't think so. Even if they go up, I'm not going to be worried. We have the offensive firepower to hang in there, to come back. We force a turnover, a special teams play, a trick play. We got different ways to get in the game. Let me ask a question. 97-1, instead of looking at this as the sky is falling and everything that could go wrong, what if we jump out on them 14-0? All right, what if this crowd starts really getting into it? What if we're bopping around, we're swag surfing, we're doing all kinds of things, T-shirt toss, we're bringing out veteran of the game, hometown heroes, we're doing it all. Yeah. 134.3 is the record to beat for the decimals. I think that's going to get obliterated. I want to see that thing get into the 140s. So I'm trying to be more positive than a lot of people. I'm not worried about what happens if we get down. What happens if we go up 14-21-0? And we can really start asserting our will, and we can just let Jaden Daniels run around. It don't matter. Make him one-dimensional. Let's see what happens.
Yeah. Well, we go up, just like you said before. We start the party. But next question, Steve, you're going to be answering this one first. Fact or bullshit? Terry McLaurin is going to be held under 100 yards receiving. Scary Terry held under 100 yards receiving. Is that fact or is that some bullshit?
I think that's fact. Okay. I do think that's fact. I think our secondary has been the glue all season. We've lost a lot of players on the defensive line, some players in the front seven and the linebacking core, but for the most part, our defensive secondary has been mostly together, especially, I know we lost Carlton Davis, but we kind of just plugged Amik Robertson in there. And honestly, that's been an upgrade. All right. We saw what Amik Robertson did to Justin Jefferson. Shutdown. Okay. Like 5 catches for 67 yards. We said it before in our game day show that day. We hold him to less than 190 or anything crazy like he's done to us in the past. We win the football game, like 5 for 67 or whatever it was. I think he matches up well with Terry McLaurin. I think they're closer in stature, closer in size. Terry can catch some contested balls. All right. He's a go-getter. They're not 50-50 balls. They're like 75-25 balls. He can catch some contested stuff. Can you throw it up that high and let Kirby Joseph come over the top and make a play? So I don't think he'll get 100 yards. I think I'll predict his stat line. I think I'll say 4 catches for 73 yards.
Respect it, man. Respect it. Hey, you already know where I'm going. Amik Robertson is one of my favorite Detroit Lions. There's only one Detroit Lion that I like more. And I'll tell you what, Amik is inching his way. He's inching his way in that mix, man. You know what I mean? So I think that it's going to be Amik putting belt to ass. I think that it's going to be, you're going to watch him compete. Like he said, man, you can't bury what came from the fucking dirt. You already know what he's going to be about when he gets out there. Terry talks a lot. He's a tough, gritty guy, but he's in for a dog fight, and he's fighting in a dog's backyard. That's not a good place to be fighting a dog that's got nothing but fight in him. I'm going to say, hell no. Hell no, he's not going to have 100. He's going to have a very, very rough night. I'll say 5 receptions, and I'll say 5 receptions for, I'll say 50 yards. Nala, what's up, girl? What's up, Nala? I love it when Nala makes her appearances. But hey, like I said, 5 receptions, man, but minimal gains. They're going to be trying to throw him screen balls to get him involved, man, because he's going to be getting strapped up, and that's what it's going to be. So Scary Terry, look for a rough night. Next one up, Steve. I believe I'm going first. We got fact or bullshit. The Detroit Lions duo rushes for a combined 175. They rush for a combined 175. Is it fact or is it some bullshit? Steve, I've put it out multiple times. I gave the blueprint. I said it. Listen, they let teams come in and run the football, and we got the best offensive line in football. So the bottom line is, I think that we're going to have lots of success running the football. But what I do think is going to happen, Steve, I think that when we're having success, they're going to have to find answers, right? They're going to be worried about J-Mo, because every team is worried about J-Mo, taking the roof off of that thing, keeping the safety over the top, respecting J-Mo. They're going to start off doing that, and we're going to start off running that football. And then they're going to inch people into that box. And then some things are going to happen, right? So that said, I don't think it'll be 175, Steve. but I do think it'll be right around 140, 145 combined rushing. I don't think these guys are about to have a bad night by any means, but I think you might see, one with 70, you know what I mean? Another one with 80 or something like that along those lines, somewhere in those windows, man. So you might see like a 140 to 150. I don't think it'll be 175 because we're going to be busy doing other things. And I don't want to lead into that because it might feed into one of my next few questions, man. So, Steve, that's how I'm feeling. Where you at with it? The duo, are they going to go for 175, 175 plus? What you think?
I've never heard such disrespect come out of your mouth in my life, William. You're telling me that the Washington Commanders give up like 137 and we're only going to get around 140? Are you nuts? We'll have 137 before halftime. Okay. Jameer Gibbs might score a walk-off touchdown and just keep running his little ass straight up that tunnel right into the locker room. Just, hey, you guys kick the field goal. I'm going to get some oxygen. I predicted 230. Okay. It's no disrespect, Washington. It's just our strength is your glaring weakness. We've talked about it all week. We did a whole show on strengths versus weaknesses. Our offensive line, we're even down Kevin Zeitler. Mahogany's going to come in there. I think he's fresh. He's more fresh. He's more rested. He's nasty. He's a filthy run blocker. You got the fastest running back in football, arguably. You got the meanest football running back in football coming back in David Montgomery. That guy's pissed. He missed some games. He does not like being injured. He does not like missing football. I do think that Jameer will get the majority of the yardage. I can't remember what I predicted on our game day show. I should have wrote down some notes. I think Jameer goes for over 100 himself. So I think if he's anywhere from about 140, can I look to David Montgomery to get 90? Because he's a full go. He's a full participant. We're talking rushing yards. All right. Don't sleep on Jared Goff. We're not even going to talk about a question. Does Jared Goff possibly outrush Jaden Daniels? Fact. Absolutely fact. He might break off a 50-yarder himself. Well, he's the best athlete on the field, and without a doubt, Jared Vick is what everyone chants from.
That's what I was waiting for.
There's a small rumbling from section 139, and a very, very small, maybe like one, maybe two people, if I can get someone motivated enough. When he breaks off a 5-6 yarder, we go nuts over there in 139. Okay, don't be surprised if he contributes to some of them rushing yards. 230, I think it's fact. The team goes over on those yards.
I like it, man. I like it. I don't know about the Jared Vick, but I like it. And hey, every time
Vanilla Vick, Jared Vick, Jared Tebow, whatever you want to call him.
Every time he rushes for positive yards, I get on the bandwagon. I'm not gonna lie. But,
Jared Newton.
Next up, I'd have lost my mind. Who's up first on this question? Is it me or is it you? All right, here we go. Next one. Amari St Brown, man, finishes with worse stats than not so scary Terry. So take it out of your mind. Whatever. I want you to put in your mind, even if Terry's having a good game, man. Even if he's having a great game, does Amari St Brown finish with worse stats in this football game than not so scary Terry?
I really like Terry McLaurin. Okay, he's a Buckeye, but I still think he's a phenomenal player. It's great to see that he's finally got a quarterback who can get him the football. I have a lot of respect for Terry. He plays the game the right way. He's not a diva. He could have demanded a trade a long time ago to get out of there. He stayed the course. Great. I'm happy for him. Amari St. Brown can take over a football game, okay? We call him a slant merchant, whatever the hell you want. I don't care. I think he's going to have double-digit receptions and well over 100 yards. I think this is just – if we're talking passing game, obviously St. Brown, it's not a hot take. I could see 11 catches for like 134 yards, maybe 2 touchdowns. I'll say 1. 1 touchdown for sure. This just seems like when he dyes that hair blue, William, a different type of Amari St. Brown comes out. I don't know what it is, but I think he's a better receiver than Terry McLaurin. I think he's a better route runner. He's got better hands. Terry might be a bigger, deep threat and catch more contested balls, but I'll take Amari St. Brown all day. So I think double-digit catches, over 100 yards receiving, and 1 touchdown.
Dang, man, definitely respect it, man. And Steve, I never would want to come on here and disrespect Amari St. Brown, but the bottom line is I think that you're forgetting that Amari has a tough task this week. He's going to be dealing with Marshawn Lattimore. Like he's who is a fierce competitor. At one time, they were talking about him as potentially the best DB in this league. Like he's a competitor, man. I think he matches Amon-Ra's energy when it comes to competition, man. So I'm not gonna sit up here and say that he's automatically gonna have more stats than Terry McLaurin. I'm gonna fucking guarantee it.
I was waiting. I was sitting here thinking, like, what is he setting up? There is no way in hell.
Are you out of your mind? I said it. The Washington Commanders do nothing good when it comes to pass. Like nothing. The short pass, the medium pass, the long pass. Bobby Wagner's going to be roaming around the middle of the field, hobbling on one ankle. Like, what are we talking about? How you're not going to stop Amari from getting leverage on your DBs. And then the linebackers that you guys have roaming around are still going to have to deal with guys like Sam Lagoda. They're still going to have to deal with J-Mo. They're still going to have to deal with Khalif. They're still going to have to deal with Timothy Patrick. Like, we're still going to have to deal with running backs leaving the backfield. Amari is going to be having his way. He's going to be having his way. He's going to be dig routes, slant routes, out routes, hitches, and he might catch a few go balls. Who knows, man?
Maybe he throws a couple passes too.
Yeah. Amari is going to be having his way. He's going to be doing what he wants to do. You guys are going to, by you guys, I mean you Commanders, are going to be in for a day because it's going to start off with, and then it's going to turn into that ball getting thrown around. So, yeah, I don't care what scary, not so scary Terry does. Amon-Ra's going to have a better day because there's no way that he's not going to have success against a team who lets you throw the football around. So I got to roll with Amon-Ra doing his thing. So, Steve, next up.
You're first on this one.
Yeah, I'm first, and we will go. It feeds right into it. It feeds right into it. I'm glad I'm going first because you guys know what it is. Fact or bullshit, Jared Goff throws for 300 plus yards. Listen, you already know what I'm going to say. He might throw for 500 yards. I mean, it depends on when the Commanders decide to fill this box up. You're not dealing with the team with our OC and Ben Johnson, who there's a reason why a lot of these teams want him to be their head coach, man. And as quiet as it's kept, they wish that he would leave to go be an OC for anybody else in the world. They would be loving to take him as that in a heartbeat. So there's a reason why they want him so bad. And his relationship with Jared Goff is crazy. If you fill that box up, we're getting out of our run play and we're going to throw it over the top. And you're going to have to deal with that. It's not going to just be games being played by the defense. It's going to be games being played by the offense. We are going to take whatever it is that you give us in Jared Goff. I think that at some point, this defense is going to say, listen, we can't just let these guys just run it down our throats. We got to do something. And when they do, Jared is going to take over this football game. Best play action passer in the NFL. I think that he's going to be an absolute sniper. I said it in the pregame show. I think you're going to see Jared Goff throwing this football anywhere he wants to throw the football. I think you're going to see him spreading the wealth. That's why I picked him to be the MVP of the football game, the offensive player of the game, because it's going to be, hey, I'm going to serve up some to Timothy. I'm going to serve up stuff to Sam Lagoda. I'm going to tell you this hot take. Allen Robinson is going to have a reception in this game. The pride of Detroit is going to stand up. He's going to do it for guys like Donovan Peoples-Jones who can't get on an active roster. He's going to say, listen, stand up for the city. Allen Robinson is going to get a reception. Jared Goff's throwing it to everybody. He might throw me one in the stands. Jared, I promise you, if you throw it to me, I'll come down with it. Steve, 300 plus for Jared Goff, 300 plus for JG. Is it a fact or is it some bullshit? Talk to me.
I was almost with you, Will, until you mentioned Allen Robinson. All right, I think it's more likely that Titus Young comes. I think it's more likely that that Titus Young gets released from jail and he catches a reception before Allen Robinson.
I just said one reception.
I don't know. Maybe if he's catching a Jared Goff throwaway, Will, that doesn't count as a reception. Okay, I say bullshit in the most respectful way. Hang on. Only because I'm heavy on the rushing game this week. All right. I'm heavy on it. So what I have to do is say, what are we going to get as a team yardage wise? All right. I predicted 230 rushing yards. I think we're going to get around 500 total yards as a team. So that puts Jared Goff in about that 270 range. Again, Monroe High math. Someone check me on that. Pretty sure I'm accurate. 270 is still pretty damn good. I think he can still throw for 2 touchdowns, take care of the ball. You don't have to do anything crazy in this game, Jared. You just have to put your shoulder pads on. You don't even have to cover your ears when the play's calling in because we know to be quiet when we're on offense. Get your play from Ben. The play's going to be, hey, turn around, hand it to Gibbs. Turn around, hand it to Montgomery. So I think he's going to flirt with it. But I say somewhere around 270, but that's just because I'm heavy on the run this week.
This is the craziest thing I've ever heard. Jared, listen, just another reason to have a chip on your shoulder. Will at
But I
Detroit
added
didn't
Jared. I added Jared into the rushing yards too. So a little
yeah.
brownie points for me.
Yeah, listen, don't try to let Steve get back in your good graces because of the 6 rushing yards he tried to give you. Will really loves you at Detroit in 313. Obviously, Steve is lukewarm on Jared Goff. You guys heard it. Just
6 per
remember
carry,
this.
6 yards per
Yeah,
carry. I meant.
unbelievable. Unbelievable. Next question, Steve. I believe you're what we got here? We got fact or some bullshit. The Detroit Lions O-line gives up 0 sacks. JG finishes clean. He finishes feeling good. He finishes not even needing it, the ice and stem after the game because he hasn't got touched. Is it fact or is it bullshit? The Detroit Lions offensive line doesn't let JG get touched.
It's fact. We're going to be running the ball. You can't sack the quarterback when we're running the ball. All right. I'm standing on it. We're running the ball this week. Okay. When you think you're in trouble, run the dang ball. We've seen the Lions run it on 3rd and 7, 3rd and 8. It doesn't matter. If they have the matchups, they're going to run the ball. Hard to sack Jared Goff when he's only probably going to drop back 20 to 22 times. He gets the ball out. He's lethal. Give him time. You're going to have to pick your spots. I don't think they're going to be able to get home. I don't think they'll be able to get to him. We have a brick wall in front of them. Best right tackle in football, best left tackle in football, best center in football, versatile guard, getting his second start in a playoff game. We're good. Our offensive line's set. We got 2 running backs who can pass protect. I'm not worried about Jared Goff. I don't think he gets hit. I don't think he gets. I mean, he'll get some pressures, but I don't think he'll get any sacks.
Yeah. One thing that I will say is we got a rookie guard who only has 1 start under his belt. That's going to be on that offensive line this week because Kevin Zeitler is going to be out. That is something that would typically worry me, but Christian Mahogany looked so good, man, when he started. Man, I'm just like, man, are we about to witness a guy really step into the forefront as a starter in this league? And I'm not saying that he's starting over Kevin Zeitler, so let's pump the brakes for people who think that's what I'm saying. But is he going to really step on in a playoff game and show the world that he is a starting caliber player? He happens to be a rookie for the best offensive line in football. So maybe you don't start on this team, but are you going to show, listen, I'm a starter in this league. I'm a starting caliber guy, and this is a perfect stage to do it. He's going to have 2 awesome defensive tackles across from him. And when Deron Payne was a free agent, I was lobbying to try to get him in Detroit. So they got some ball players over there, especially in the interior. So I'm gonna put some respect in their name. I'm not gonna say that JG doesn't get touched, man. Maybe they brush his jersey, maybe they get him off the X a little bit and touch a shoulder pad. But sacks, I gotta ride with you, Steve. Ain't gonna be no sacks, dog.
Are you counting getting touched when he's dapping people up before the coin toss? Like what's the standard for getting touched here? I don't understand. Like I don't know how you think.
Yeah, that's about it. That's about it. That's about it. Yep.
Shaking hands after the game, does that count as a touch?
Yeah, that's about it. Yeah, that's about it. Steve, I think you're up. You're up on the next.
You are.
It's me. Okay, let's see what we got. All right. And this is one I'm excited for this one. Fact or bullshit? Detroit Lions crowd causes 2+ penalties. The crowd, the fans, the electric energy in Detroit, the best football atmosphere there is in the NFL right now. Will we cause 2 or more penalties for the Washington Commanders? Steve.
You want me to go first or?
No, you know. Oh. You already know. It's gonna be at least 2. It's gonna be at least 2. Jaden Daniels is gonna be in for a situation that, regardless of what he says, I think that it's gonna be a situation like no other. And even if he has had some similar situations in college, I still don't think it's gonna compare to being indoors and it being as crazy as it's gonna be at Ford Field. Steve, I think that Jaden Daniels might have one. He might have one, but that offensive line, because Jaden Daniels is poised, man. I can't say it enough. I don't want to try to take that away from him, man. I couldn't if I wanted to. That dude doesn't seem like he gets rattled about anything. So maybe he holds strong, man, and it's not as bothersome as it has been for some other quarterbacks. But I've seen Sam Darnold struggling, and he's a veteran, man. So I think that we get at least one on Jaden Daniels, but that offensive line, yeah, they're going to give us at least 1 or 2 themselves, man. So I'm going to say it's a fact 2 or plus penalties caused by the fans, man. Hey, we might mess around and be 4 or 5, man. Steve, how you feeling?
So we're counting a crowd caused penalty. That's a false start or a delay game, right?
Yeah, false start, delay a game
Okay.
for sure.
I think it's way over. I think we're going to be in the ballpark of 5. Okay.
Mm.
Listen, Daniels, you took a shot at Lions fans, and a lot of people have heard that shot. Okay.
Mm.
We get it. You played at LSU, Death Valley. It's supposedly a tough place to play. Not if you're Alabama the last 15 years, though. We got a lot of Bama boys on our team, too. So just another thing to look at. But what they Brian Bridge, James Moose. What they used to do in college, and this has just changed this year. Maybe it's because of Michigan and everything they were accused. No actual facts behind it, but they used to use signals. Those are real easy to get from the sideline. You just kind of look over. All right, coach. Yep, got the signal. In the NFL, you got a little headset in your ear. All right, when it's record-breaking noise going on around you, and you have to go like this to try to hear, you better hear every word. You better hear every word coming in that headset, because if you have to look over to Kingsbury and you're going like this because you need them to say it again because you couldn't quite get the call, and that clock's ticking up there, and a lot of confusion for a rookie. This is an environment first real road playoff game. I don't count Tampa Bay. I don't think you're not going to have the same crowd you had down there in Tampa like you did. You Washington fans traveled down there and took care of business. I get it, but this is a Detroit heavy crowd. Not many tickets are going to be available for Washington fans. So with that being said, this is a different environment. All right, I get it. Different type of play calling. I know it's his rookie season. It's not his first game, but you ain't felt nothing like you're going to feel tonight or tomorrow night. So I think we'll get at least one on the first drive.
Ooh, hot take.
Maybe hot take. I don't know if that's a hot take, but I'll stand on it. We'll get at least one false start or delay game if the refs are paying attention on the first drive.
Yeah. Only reason why I'll say I don't think it'll be on the first drive is because I think the first drive will be so scripted, man, that it'll be hard to get one. But drive 2, I would say for sure. Drive 2, yeah, for sure. We're gonna grab one. Drive 2. Steve, last but not least, man, we're bringing this thing home. You ready?
I'm ready. You don't have to get ready if you stay ready.
All right, let's do it. Fact.
Did you throw that one in there when I wasn't ready?
Fact or some bullshit? The Commanders beat the Detroit Lions. Steve, talk to him.
Absolutely not. Sorry. Hey, call me a homer. Call me all you want. Best team in the NFC for a reason. 15-2, best Detroit Lions team in my lifetime. I get it. I've seen a lot of people from Washington. You know what? When we had this matchup and we talked about it before they played Tampa Bay last week, I said, hey, it'd be nice to have some fresh blood. We've seen Minnesota, we've seen Green Bay, we've seen the Rams, seen the Bucs. Let's get some fresh blood in here, a team we haven't seen. What Commanders fans have done to us this week, personally, gloves are off. I don't give a shit. Your season's over this week. It's great. You had a great story. 12-5. Not good enough to get a home playoff game, or you wouldn't probably have been in that situation. Maybe if you played some better football, you'd have some more wins. You'd get a home game. You're coming to a city that is absolutely dying for a Super Bowl. All right. There's a saying around here. It's been a saying for a while. Just give me one before I die. I've seen a lot of comparisons and people saying, put your rings on the table. You guys have one ring, one single ring. I was 3 years old when you got that ring. All right. It's been over 30 years. All right. If you weren't alive when that happened, let's not count it. Okay. I think that Washington's season comes to an end. Again, great story. They hit a home run with Jaden Daniels. Their future's bright. But this Detroit roster is just pound for pound, not even in the same category as Washington. I think we'll take care of business without a doubt. I can't even believe you snuck that question in there on me, Will.
Hey guys, you know where I'm going to come. I'm piggybacking Steve. It's even as much respect as I give to Jaden Daniels and his Washington Commanders team. Coach Quinn, I love him as a coach. I just don't think it's their time. I don't think it's their time, and just not yet. They're a few players away, and not to say this isn't going to be a great football team moving forward. I just think that I don't want to call it a rebuild, but definitely not for us anymore. But in how we've built our team, we're further along in the process of getting to where we're trying to go than they are. That's it. Like, it's not even a disrespectful thing. We're just so much further along. The guys that we're going to go to are going to be guys that have already, when they look left and they look right, they're battle tested with the brother that they're about to go to war with, man. They don't have any questions with that guy. They have seasons together, most of them. And if it's not, when you start thinking about guys like a Meek, he's just got that dog in him, man. You start talking about guys like Terrion, man. He's been in a bunch of big football games, and now we're at a point in the season where the veterans that have been there have taught them the way, and they're coming in with guys who are already pretty much brothers in them. Terrion walked in to a home where Brian Branch was right there to receive him. You know what I'm saying? It's just like everything is finally meshing and gelling together and making sense at the right time for us. The Washington Commanders are starting their journey to build this thing up to where they want to go. That's why I think the Detroit Lions are going to win this football game, and I'm a lot less stressed about it. I'll be honest. When we first pulled the Commanders, my first thought was, man, we're going to have to fucking deal with that read. We're going to have to deal with RPO. Buffalo Bills ran that crap. Like, it gave us troubles, mobile quarterbacks, whatever. The more I watch film, and I stand on it, man. I stand on my film study. I watched every freaking snap of Jaden Daniels, man. So, listen, for those of you, and
was it Jaden Daniels or Sam Darnold?
I was just about to say,
or Sam Darnold or Andy Dalton. Which one was it? Which one were you watching?
Shout out to my man Alex, man. I almost forgot to shout you out, Alex 06F6J, man. You're the GOAT, man, for this comment. Yeah, watching Andy Dalton lets you know that we don't know what the hell we're talking about at Detroit in 313. Listen, if you guys don't know what he's talking about the game day show where we put in the clips of Sam Darnold, right? So these are just shout out to you, man. You're the GOAT. Sam Darnold, like Andy Dalton, that it's hard. I get it. It's hard. But for those reasons, man, going back to the topic, for those reasons, man, I think that it's just the Detroit Lions time to get it done. It's the Detroit Lions time to win this Super Bowl. And hey, man, we got to do it for our guy, man. You know, shout out to Andy, man, battling colon cancer, man. It's time, man. We're gonna get one, man, and we're praying for you, man. That's all I got, Steve.
Anything else for tonight?
Nope.
I got one last thing. One little thing.
Talk to me.
We had, shame on me for not mentioning Mike Sanders, still the Washington Commanders. All right. Michigan Wolverine legend, one of the best defensive players that ever come for that university. Love you. Absolute pillar for what the national championship last year. Had the game-sealing interception. Love Mike Sanders still, but I'm going to love just giving him that belt this weekend, Mike. I'm gonna love giving him that belt. Love you, Mike. We'll cheer for you after this game. Whatever happens. Stick around, hit that like button. We'll be back later with another show.
Peace.